Welcome back to the ABL review for Season 20, Week 3 of the North Division. Yeah, that was a lot cleaner opening than the South. Sorry, South. Come over here for all your great intro needs. Pretty good games this week. Let's hop into them. We have a doozy as our marquee match that we'll have to talk about. So, also sorry in the South if you watched that one first. At the end of the thing when I was talking about pickups and stuff, I forgot to fix the framing, so it probably looks bad. But all the information is my normal amount of accurate. There's still probably some mistakes, but So, as usual, start off with my battle. Let's hop into it. Now, there was definitely some luck involved in this battle, and I'll go over it. Klefki, I was surprised to see this Klefki packing play rough, because I thought he'd kind of figure like that Great Tusk could be my answer to this. And you know what? Also, important part of this game was get this Mudsdale just chipped down. Got to get this Mudsdale as low as possible. So he makes a really nice double switch there. Or at least I felt he made a really good double switch there. Now looking back at it, maybe he just kind of baited me, because he had the Mudsdale in, predicted me to switch. I ended up with Ninetales in against the Latios, and then he was able to get his, and then he got his Klefki back in, which is a better position for him. Maybe it wasn't necessarily like a double, but look, Hail's down, so I can't reset Veil. He's burned out a bunch of turns of Veil, so good job there. Get a drop on the special attack there. That doesn't really matter. Here's a good double switch. Get the Latios in. So thankfully I did have my Veil up for one more turn there, able to dodge that, but the special defense drop means I wasn't able to stay in there. Gonna knock off with the Sand Slush boosted Sand Slash there. That was lucky. But I think I'm able to get one more round of Veil up here. Yep, before the Hail goes down. Good. So now the name of the game here is... I was convinced he was going to go into either Latios or Enamorus there. I really made a hard prediction there, but able to spin away spikes, stay faster, and he would have busted out Magnet Rise already if he had it. So I'm able to get rid of that Klefki. Spikes are gone, not a problem. And take as much damage as I can on this Latios. It's worth losing Great Tusk just for that. Get a crit on this liquidation. Now this is important. I think a normal liquidation damage based on that is probably like in the ballpark of 35-ish%. And then he would have gotten the stamina boost, so he probably would have been out of range of another liquidation. I'm not going to calculate. He would have been out of range. He likely would have been out of range of another liquidation had I not crit. So I would definitely say this crit matters in the sense that I would have it. Like, I don't have a lot of good things I can switch into Mudsdale. Either I need to try to take it, maybe since I have Veil up, I might just try to 2-hit KO this Mudsdale and get out of here, because I don't need a lot of HP on this Overquill. So it definitely changes how I play the game. It changes how Logan plays the game, because he has to let this Mudsdale go down. Now he doesn't have his ground type, which I'm sure he wants. So it does make it makes a difference in this game. Maybe not like it depends how things play from there on out. But I'm able to get the Hail up one more time. Bust out the superpower. Super not expecting that. This really threw me off. I kind of had a plan of how I was going to deal with it, and now I don't know, because I was Choice Scarf physical Overquill. I'm like, I don't want to risk a gunk shot miss on this thing. But you know what? I got the Hail up. We're going to get a Alolan Sand Slash in. And then I looked at the calcs, and it's like, literally nothing I have. Do I still have this calc up here? Yeah, I pulled this calc up. Let me see if I can. Any of these look good. That one looks good enough. As you can see, I have a chance. I have a 31% chance to KO with Ironhead. If I KO'd with Ironhead there, I think I win the game outright, like immediately, without very much more trouble, because I'm faster than everything and I can KO everything. But I'm like, you know what? I increase my chances by a little bit, by another 30%. I can get up to 60%. if I go for the Iron Head because I can get a flinch. Ice Spinner does the same damage, but hey, let's try to grab a flinch here. As you can see, if he goes for a superpower on that turn, which I think he would have because I hadn't terra'd yet, would have gone for superpower. I would have lived the superpower. So, and I didn't really need more HP because he doesn't have any priorities. So I don't think this flinch mattered too much. This one that I get here, because if he goes for superpower, then I live it and he still dies to the next Iron Head. So I don't think that flinch mattered personally. It means I had a little less HP, but that didn't matter because I'm able to follow up with the Terra Flying, KO the Ogre Pawn. Carbink's going to come in. I'm going to do a bunch of damage to it with the Iron Head here. Power Gem would have KO'd me regardless of what range I was at. And I'm going to come in with Overquill and just clean up with Barb Barrage. The Scarf Overquill was kind of my late game plan anywho. So, yeah, 2 of my Pokemon didn't hit the field, so it's hard to say for certain how things would have gone. But I do recognize, oh, I got to fix this. Whoops, sorry, guys. Would have been annoying. It's hard to say for certain how things would have gone without the hacks. I did get it, but I still think I was in a solid position regardless. So I get the win there. Moving on, we've got Curtis taking on Brett. This was a weird one. So first of all, Brett U-turns out here because I just assumed he was just like, yeah, he's not going to let me knock this off. He's going to let the Metagross get parried. He's going to be able to knock off the Assault Vest on the Hoopa Unbound. They trade knockoffs here, lose the Black Sludge on Fezandipity, pick up the U-turn KO there. Meowscarada is going to come back in perfect. He's going to be able to go for the Protean Triple Axle, prevent any hazards from going up from Curtis. Doesn't want to take the Thunder Wave there. Goes into Piloswine, predicting the Thunder Wave. Doubles out here. This is super scary, especially because we got the paralysis here. So Curtis gets a free Swords Dance. Nothing on the team can take a Surging Strikes at this point. Brett had texted me before the game. He's just like, man, Urshifu's a big problem. Maybe we shouldn't have let it in the league. And he's reaping the problems here there. So I can't talk sometimes. I'm sorry, guys. So this Metagross is very safely going to go down to these Surging Strike hits as we see the Life Orb come out. So here's the kind of the turning point of the game, because Urshifu still has a great matchup versus a lot of stuff on this team. We were looking at the calcs. I had Brett's team just because he had sent it to me for review. We usually do that with each other, just make sure we didn't do anything stupid to each other's teams. And then so Meowscarada comes out. Looking at the calc, even if this is no HP investment, there is a literal... Brett would have to get the absolute min roll to be able to not KO this Urshifu. So smart money would be to go hard out into Porygon 2, right? At least that's what we thought. But he stays in, does not get lucky enough with that sort of roll. Crit doesn't matter because it always crits. The Urshifu Rapid Strike goes down. Really surprised that Curtis allowed that to happen, because this was essentially a guaranteed KO. I think it's like a 3% chance that he lives that. And it puts him in a really bad position the rest of the game, because at this point it's just cleanup. Gonna keep trying to chip down the Porygon 2. Brett's gonna go for beat up here. I think we calculated this is like a 80+% chance to get the Toxic. So gets parried here, which buys Curtis a couple of turns, but I just don't think there's a winning position for him from here, especially knowing what Brett has in the back. So the Fezandipity is going to come in here. He's going to go in the Piloswine. Gengar's also super scary, because Brett doesn't have a good Shadow Ball switch in. Like, Meowscarada, sure, it's Dark type. It's going to take a ton of damage, and if Curtis makes a prediction, Meowscarada just goes down to a Sludge Wave. So we see the Substitute come out here. This could be scary. He's going to go for the Will-O-Wisp, but it's still a Piloswine, it's still a Gengar. He's still going to be able to break the sub there. So we're assuming Hex is going to come out, or it could have at least. I don't really know what the Rapid Spin was about there. This is not a great position for Curtis to be in at this point, but he doesn't really have anything else he can do. Flash Scan does a chunk to Fezandipity, that's always nice. and he gets the para there. So if he can get lucky with one more para, but he doesn't, Roost goes off, and Pheasantipity is going to be able to beat up and get the Toxic on the Cryogonal here. So at this point, it's just a waiting game. As long as Brett doesn't get too... Brett would have to get severely hacked to not come out of this with a pretty healthy Pheasantipity. Sorry if you hear a noise in the background. My dog's chewing on a toy. At this point, it's just cleanup for Brett. There's not really much that Curtis can do with the stuff weakened like it is and Toxic. He's literally on a timer. He's also able to take the opportunity to get the knockoff there. He's no longer weak to the Ice Beam, so all he really would have to worry about is a Thunder Wave, which Curtis elects to not go for. Doesn't really matter at that point either, because we got Scarf Quackleval to come out and clean up late game. Well done, Brett. Brett had a rough start to the season, but shows dominance in this performance here, with a little bit of a bad play from Curtis, in my opinion, sacking the Urshifu. But overall, had that game well in hand pretty early on. So Brett with the first win of the season there. Moving on, we've got Zach versus, I'm going to remember this, I got to learn this, because I keep wanting to say, that's Drew, right? Drew has a kilowatt? Yeah, Drew. Like, it tricks me, because I see Dieter Hall, and I think Drew, because D, right? But then I just doubt myself. Chicago Cub Chews, right? No, Detroit Dragapults, Jesus Christ. I'm going to learn these new teams. Detroit Dragapults taking on the New York Aqua Jets. This is a pretty close game down the line here. So a little bit of information coming out early on there with the Intimidate and Clear Body. That's always good. Raikou coming out here to threaten this out. Substitute goes up. Really good spot for Zach to be in here. Unfortunately, doesn't get the Scald Burn, which would have helped him out later. But this is like the Assault Vestiest of Assault Vest Serenas that takes 0 damage there. Is able to keep up the momentum and get in a good spot. Manages to get a procs with this Heatran. I'm super surprised. Like that's a little bit of an here. So we'll break down that turn real quick. Rocks go up. You expect this to just probably go for Rapid Spin if it hasn't. Goes for a hard knockoff because Rapid Spin's the play on the field. That's what you'd think would happen. So he was predicting the Dragapult to come out and he was going to catch a knockoff. That would have been a great spot for him to be in. But unfortunately, he's going to take a bunch of damage and get burned from the Lava Plume. And he's going to follow it up with an Earth Power because, like, okay, even if he does go into Dragapult, at least I can get some damage and maybe I can get rid of this Heatran. But at that point, the Serena's going to come in and take super no damage. And then I'm kind of surprised here we're going to follow up with the Sludge Bomb. I'm guessing that this is Assault Vest Toadscruel because we didn't see the Rapid Spin. But also, like, you should have been able to Rapid Spin that. Like, these rocks are going to cause some issues, as we'll see here. So we get a U-turn, flip turn combo, and we're going to see the Gouging Fire come in, and he's going to take that Rock's damage, and the Photosynthesis is going to go off because of the booster energy. Now, the issue there is that I don't know how I feel about booster energy. Like I know it's a good item, but when you're getting the attack stat, you probably need to be able to capitalize on it. And it's hard to capitalize on physical attacking Pokemon when Landorus is around, right? So comes in, intimidates, and unfortunately he gets the play wrong, goes for Earthquake there. And that's going to force it out. So at this point, Gouging Fire really hasn't had an impact. Lost its item, and it also lost 25% health. It's going to have to come back in on those rocks again later, unless we get a Defog from Kilowattrel here, which we don't. But we got the Tailwind up. This, I'm curious what happened with Zach here, because either he's just like, oh, I'm in a bad spot. I'm just going to have to ride this out and lose something, because I feel like he kind of gets set back here, because I think he kind of forgot about the Tailwind, personally. Flare Blitz breaks the sub as he goes for a Calm Mind. I don't think he was I think he thought he would be Calm Minding before the sub was broken, and then he'd be able to follow up with a Scald, which would KO the Gouging Fire from here. And honestly, Raikou's in a fantastic position to put in a lot of work if that happens. I think he forgot about the Tailwind, because then he's going to follow it up and lose a Pokemon to Earthquake there. So Gouging Fire with another KO on the season. I think this is Scarfed or Banded Lander. It's hard to, I can't really tell. This Primarina ends up being super annoying, just kind of like hanging on and like staying healthy with Draining Kiss. Drew's going to be able to follow up the close combat, get rid of the Heat Train. He's slowly kind of fighting his way back in this, getting a little bit of chip on Lando there. Primarina's going to come in, obviously threaten it out. Surf's going to come out. I really like seeing he goes for Psychic Noise here, keeping that Clefable low. Unfortunately, eats a Thunder Wave, which I guess I don't think he gets paralyzed the rest of the game, so maybe it doesn't matter. But I see the Gouging Fire come out on that. Dragapult's going to take a little bit of damage. And the Gouging Fire is going to go down to Flare Blitz Recoil. Like, Drew's fighting here, but I don't really think he's got enough pieces left to win this without some mistakes from Brett, or from Zach. If he, I don't know. Let me think. No, I don't think. I was going to say, if he gets the, if he doesn't get parried there, like maybe let's say he gets like a crit Draining Kiss and KOs the Serena, which I don't even know if it would. Then like that still doesn't give him enough resources to be able to come back and win, unfortunately, because Crocodile's going to come in, get the Intimidate off, go for a knockoff, easy KO there. And then the Lander's going to come in, drop it one, safely U-turn out. He doesn't have to miss attacks. He doesn't have to worry about anything. He's just going to sack this Clefable, even to the Gunk Shot there. Hard play to make. It's just going to come in and get another U-turn KO. Slowly, he didn't have to worry about any Earthquake. Well, I mean, Earthquake would have also done well, but, you know, you go for the super effective move when you can, right? Yeah, it's just solid performance by Zach. Drew really gave him a run here. I think a little bit. I think that mistake by Zach really cost him, and Drew capitalized as much as he could. But Zach's a great player, and comes away with another win here. Now it's time for our marquee match of the week.
Marquee match of the week. Now we have a theme.
So, I have not rewatched this since it happened live. So we're going to take this one through slow because this is kind of a crazy game. So we get the Glaceon versus Arcanine lead. Looks at, first glance like this is a terrible spot to be in. And it really is. But Mike with some fantastic prep. He just goes Dragon so that way he could resist a Flare Blitz if it potentially came out. But just enough investment to be able to live that head smash, right? That's great. And goes for Chilling Water. Gets a ton of damage off on Hisuian Arcanine. This turn that looked like an absolute disaster for Mike ends up being... Sure, he burned his Terra, and he burned a whole Pokemon, right? But I think this is totally worth it. I think this is a really good play and totally worth it. I'm gonna go for the Protect, just using up some PP on Head Smash. And also, if he like got a miss here, that's even more PP that he's burned. That's fantastic. Corviknight's gonna come out on the knockoff. No boots for Corviknight, so if hazards end up going up, that's gonna put a little bit more pressure on that Corvi. Brave Bird comes out from the Corviknight, kind of an easy play for him to make there. Gliscor's gonna come in on a Lava Plume. So, couple things that this is max special attack investment on Torkoal, I guess we found out. So that crit matters. I can't, hold on. You know what? We're gonna do a live calc here because I don't remember. Let's see if we can. Yeah, we'll do this. Okay. Gliscor. We'll do this one versus Torkoal. We'll do doubles OU trick because I believe he said it was invested. Lava Plume. So yeah, this had to have mattered then, right? Yeah, it's a guaranteed KO with a crit if he's got 0 SpDef investment. Even if he's like, if he was max SpDef investment, the crit didn't matter. But I think the bigger thing that would have come out of that and this is Charcoal even, which he wasn't. So, ooh, yeah, crit. That was a high roll crit too, which, ooh, really sucks. But would have also potentially come out of there is there's a chance, the 30% chance, that the Torkoal would have burned that Gliscor too, which means it wouldn't have gotten its Toxic Orb. That would have also been a super bad position for... Hey guys, look, I don't have any gross bookmarks up here. That would have been a really bad position for Jabron. Let's get back to the replay. But the Gliscor goes down, which is absolutely huge. That's the only rocker Jabron has potentially on his side, and only real thing that can take on Cleavor effectively. So that's a big problem. Florges is going to come out. Not really a great spot for him to be in a fairy against a fire, but pulls out a Psychic. Really good prep there, very smart. Corviknight's going to come out. I was skeptical about Corviknight coming out because you don't know anything about this Venusaur right now, right? You know it's got Black Sludge, and you know it's got Synthesis. Well, if you didn't even know he had Synthesis when it came out. If this had been a growth Weather Ball Venusaur, this Corviknight's gone, and you're kind of in a shit position going forward. So, bold move for him to go out to Corviknight. And then even bolder to stay in and go for the Brave Bird, because if he has Weather Ball, he doesn't even need to be boosted. This Corviknight's gone, but stays in, makes the right call, and goes for the Brave Bird, gets a good chunk of damage off on Cleavor. And Sunlight goes away, so we know that this is probably Boots Torkoal. Rocks are going to go up because of the Stone Axe. And we see Defog come out here. We don't, but we see a good amount of damage off there. I'm surprised he went for Body Press. Brave Bird's probably better in that position. Very risky. I mean, Jabron has to play risky, right? He's in a bad position. He had hacks early on. He needs to play risky. Brings in this Roaring Moon. Gets the attack boost on this Torkoal. And goes for U-turn. Earthquake really fucks up the team here. I think this is one of those things where Jabron's like, I'm in the back because of what happened early on here. I need to make some plays. And I think he overplayed. I think if he had gone for an Earthquake there, he picks up a KO on Torkoal, I'm pretty certain, especially since this is special attack invested. Anything else that comes in doesn't take it well by any means. So I think he should have gone for Earthquake there. I don't like the U-turn play, especially considering the rest of the set that we see later. So Lava Plume's going to come out on the floor. Just still no burn. Bad luck for Paul McCartney here. The other Beetle's going to come in, take a Psychic there. And then we're going to see come out here the Poison Jab. This is Physical Venusaur, which I kind of called in the chat, just want to say. Said I wanted to see Physical Venusaur, and it worked out. But that's also good news for Jabron, because Physical Venusaur can't really touch Corviknight at all. So, lost to Florges there, but, you know, gained some good information, right? A little bit of Black Sludge back. Corviknight comes in. Big mistake comes out from Mike here. Forgets... Oh, no, never mind. That's later. Spoilers. So Corviknight's able to get rid of the hazards. That's also very big because that will allow Arcanine to come in later. I believe he's going to take a bunch of damage from that Lava Plume. I thought this was a crazy play because I think I probably would have tried sacking Hisui and Arcanine on that play. But I think so. This is like super Spadef Assault Vest Arboliva. Able to take that Lava Plume well and not get burned, even better. And then we're going to see the Terra Water come out and go for Earth Power. That, you know, smart play there. I think the idea was to incentivize his Torkoal to stay in and try to go for another Lava Plume. And maybe KO it with Earth Power. But so it's for naught. The Venusaur is going to come in. Now, you definitely got to switch into the Corviknight here because you know a Power Whip's coming out. Or at least I thought a Power Whip was coming out. I'm surprised this thing doesn't have stab on that side. But goes for a knockoff. The Corviknight's already lost its item. Synthesis up. Going to get back to full there. Brave Bird does a ton. So you get a lot back because of the Black Sludge and Grassy Terrain. But you also get a lot back because of the Synthesis. This Corviknight... obviously not fearing a Weather Ball at this point. Able to stay in and get that Brave Bird off. That's big. Sun goes down. So that's so. Well, I mean, we'll see the play here. So we see the Earthquake come out. That's bad for two reasons. A, there's very few situations, like you would have had to make your Venusaur slow to be able to predict the roost and KO this Corviknight with Earthquake, but also grassy terrain's up, so that wasn't happening anyways. So now this Corviknight is able to roost. And does it benefit from the grassy terrain on this turn? Yeah, it does. It is. And then the grassy terrain's going to go away. So now this, yeah, and the Corviknight's going to be able to KO this regardless of the synthesis. So that's a problem. Jabron's fighting back in this. He has, 3 pretty healthy Pokemon, 1 that's on death's door, versus 4 Pokemon, and he's chipping away at him, so good for him. Sun's going to go back up. Roaring Moon's going to come out, risking yet another Lava Plume burn, and it doesn't happen. Kleavor is going to go ahead and come in. See, that Earthquake is what you should have been doing before. Gallade is going to come in. This is screaming, hey, I'm definitely scarfed, okay? Watch out for me, I'm Scarf. Sacred Sword is the right play here. 2-hit KOs everything left on the team. Puts a lot of pressure on. Soon Arcanine's going to come in. Go for the extreme speed, get a lot of chip. That's a lot of damage, but also going to fall to the Sacred Sword. This is a great position for him to be in, because everything is... Roaring Moon's O-Code, so Arboliva has to come in here to be able to threaten this. Arboliva does come in. Now... At this point, I think we were worried that the, God, there was another point where like, ooh, oh no, I don't remember what turn that was. Sorry guys, sorry. There's a turn where something was able to come in, and we're just like, ooh, that was a bad play. I think something goes down. Oh yeah, I think the Corviknight yeah, when the Corviknight goes down here. I think trying to recreate what we had decided was the best end game here, because I think Arboliva should have come in, been able to live a hit, threaten this. Yeah, because I think that we decided Roaring Moon would be able to KO like with Outrage if you could force out this Gallade, get a little bit of damage, something like that. But Arcanine's gonna come in, do the damage. Okay, I had more criticisms from there, but I can't remember my state of mind on Monday night. Arboliva's gonna come in and it's gonna force this out into the Torkoal, right? It's gonna go for the Giga Drain, get a little bit of HP back, gonna stay healthy, try to stay out of Sacred Sword range. Gets the Earth Power off, staying healthy. Now, this is a big moment here. So it's hard to say for certain what should be done. Hold on, see the Photosynthesis pop. Okay, so get the special attack boost. If this is a speed boosting Walking Wake, even worse. This is also a really bad play, but it wasn't. So I think this is probably what you got to do. So this is like anti-hacks what we're gonna see here. So we see the Draco Meteor come out and miss. That really sucks, right? That really sucks for. It looks like it really sucks for Mike, right? But then the Mirror Coat comes out, which now that you've revealed the Mirror Coat, it's hard to like justify how bad that sucks. Like, because it wouldn't have KO'd. It would have done a decent. It would have done a decent chunk of damage. I think we calculated do like 50%. But it would have lived, and it would have Mirror Coated and KO'd the Walking Wake, and then you actually come in with Gallade and you pick up you just click Sacred Sword twice and win. So that Draco miss was super beneficial for Jabron. Like that was like the Mirror Coat ended up being like this was kind of a weird play where this put Jabron back into it, because now he knows that because I think then he's able to identify it, because Grass goes back up, and now he's just going to go for Giga Drain. Now he just has to keep Giga Draining. He just has to stay healthy enough to stay out of range of Sacred Sword. I don't really get what the Hydro Steam play was at that point. I guess it doesn't really matter. But but actually, you know what? That worked out in what way? Hold on. When did Seed Sower activate again? Seed Sower activated on the Draco. Okay, so it didn't matter. Yeah, I mean, I guess go for Draco again. That's probably what you should have done, in case you just, like, were afraid you were going to live. You could get a little bit more damage. So now in this position, you know, Galley's going to come out. It's going to have to go for Leaf Blade. It's the only way you kill Arboliva. So that's what he does. He goes for Leaf Blade, kills Arboliva. Now, the Roaring Moon's going to come in. At this health, Leaf Blade has a very small chance to KO, but it also has that 12% crit chance, which isn't a lot, but, you know, this is just, I'd say, math-wise, about a 45% chance to KO. This is nearly a coin toss. And the Roaring Moon, you see that yeah, so what is that? So you see the booster energy pop. So this thing was never choiced at all. That's why I don't really like the U-turn on it. I don't really know why you'd have U-turn. I don't know. I don't get that. But at this point, the booster energy doesn't matter because anything it goes for, it's going to be able to KO the Gallade. Leaf Blade comes out, doesn't pick up the KO. Very close. Doesn't get the crit either. But the Acrobatics is going to go off and KO the Gallade. Very close game. So close. Look at that. That came down to nearly a 50-50 on the very last turn of the game. Well played by both of these guys. Braun back on the horse, gets a win. I think his first win of the season. I think now we can head over to the dock, and I'm going to reframe this properly, right? Bip. Schedule, yeah. Jabron. Yeah, first win of the season for Jabron. So a couple of really close 1-0s this week. Next week, we've got the Love Affair, Logan versus Brett, Zane versus Jabron. Mike and Jeremy, that's supposed to be played tomorrow night as the time of recording. Zach's got the week off. Curtis and Drew, we'll see how that goes. Standings. I'm lucky enough to be the only undefeated team left. I want to try to keep that going. I don't think I've been in a league with Brett and Zach and been able to get the number one, not the number one seed, but a first round bye in a very long time. So looking forward to that potentially. But also, no winless teams down here or up here in the north. That's fun. A lot of parity. I don't think I'm going to hold on to that undefeated record forever. So, but I'm going to fight to keep it for as long as I can. Let's look at changes that were made because there were some. So I traded Logan Clawitzer for Lantern. I'm a big Lantern fan, and I just felt like I needed a little bit more switch initiative and bulk. Like, I kind of made my team in mind, like, oh, I'm going to be using screens a lot. But I made some tactical errors in how I put my team together. I'm definitely going to have to start chewing into my ad drops to fix some mistakes. But trade away Clawitzer for Lantern. Unfortunately, that meant I had to free up some cap space, so I dropped Oinkalone and picked up Vulpix. Gives me a Sun aspect to my team. I've got a couple of things that benefit from Sun. So kind of nice to have that in the back. Also, 1 point Terra things, just, you know, kind of round stuff out. Gives me extra Terra options when I potentially need them. Logan, on the other hand, since he freed up a point of cap space by doing the trade Clawitzer for Lantern, he basically could pick up a free Pokemon in Gumshoes, which I was going to take as my 1 point Pokemon. I was going to drop Oinkolo and pick up Gumshoes, but due to the way priority and stuff works on this, Logan was able to go first and get Gumshoes. So pretty unfortunate. It's like the second or third time maybe in the whole league that priority at waiver picks has mattered. So that's rough. I changed my Terra Captain. Like, most people in the north are changing their Terra Captains week to week, so I'm not really going to go through that. But Brett made a lot of changes. You know, after getting by in what he perceived to be a not very good matchup against Curtis and starting out 0-2, obviously he wants to make some changes and did them all in 1 week. So, dropping Metagross, picking up Galarian Slowking, dropping Hatterene, picking up Tinkaton, dropping, what else did he drop? Pheasantipity picking up Cyclozar, Flygon picking up Lycanroc Day, Kricketune picking up Beartic. So, a couple things to talk about there. Galarian Slowking and Cyclozar form a Regenerator core that Brett is so well known for. Going to be very annoying to have to deal with. Lycanroc, just a really solid hazard getter-upper. Tinkaton, best typing in the game. Provides a lot of bulk and, like, power that can't really be ignored. Like, it could really come to play. And also, potentially, I think we can Terra this thing. I don't think we Terra banned that. Galarian Slowking has Chilly Reception, so it can set up Snow for Beartic while gaining good switch initiative. Really something to be scared of over here in Seattle. It's interesting. He's got nothing like in the yellow color range. He's got like that mint and blue stuff, and then he's got like the dirty colors. Although like those Pokemon like the 6, 7, 8 range, those are good Pokemon. It just doesn't reflect well because of our color scheme with the tiers. But that's gonna wrap up everything for the North this week. Thank you all for listening, and we'll see you next week. Goodbye.